Hello boys, Mordarim here. Today with a different take on Righteous Fire. Well, it's not Righteous Fire, on Cold Aura, on a spellblade. I took the whole concept and put it into a little bit of a different twist. I tried Frostbite first, but Frostbite doesn't scale as well as just adaptive spell damage on your Cold Aura and attack speed. So just a little bit of gameplay right now. Okay, so that was the clear. As you can see, very fun, very fast, very eye-cancery. You cannot really see the overlay map in this build. That's a drawback that you can probably expect. It's very tough to see some effects on the ground, but still very fun. And you're extremely safe with around maybe 4,000, maybe 3,000 ward effective life. 4,000 to 5,000 depending on the boss, depending on your ward retention. Right now we are sitting at 164. We can push this one with more intelligence and better gear. We could change this one for a ward retention. Adorned idol, we could change this one for a better helmet. We can change this one for a better base. Like, there is a lot you can do to get more ward retention, and you can probably reach around 10k, maybe even more ward with this build, if you specifically built for this, so it's extremely tanky. Good, but gear we'll discuss at the end. First, our skills. Manastrike, we picked up the ward gained on hit, we picked up the mana gained on hit, we picked up the attack speed, the global damage buff, the spell damage buff globally. A little bit of area here and a little bit of mana gained here. So nothing special with our Manastrike. Our Shatter strike is a little bit different. Here we pick up the global increased cold damage, 80%. That's really a lot, really a lot. Picked up a little bit of breath of cold. We only need this one to get to Ice Blink. Ice Blink prevents us from using wands in our main hand. In our offhand we cannot use it anyway. And two-hander. So this one is for the attack speed, so we can attack like a madman. We picked up 2 points into Icy Flow to get that mana efficiency and a little bit of ward. We picked up Frostbitten for the chance to Frostbite, and we picked up Frostbite Effect to increase the damage. So enchant weapon or third skill, we go with Celerity. We picked up Concentration afterwards, picked up Shivering Blade, picked up Icicle Strike, 1 point to the bone, and 4 points into Frostbrand. You can take those points and shuffle them around as you like. The most important points are Celerity and Concentration. So Flame Ward, our fourth skill, we picked up the damage mitigation here, time dilation here, like for more duration, 4 seconds uptime is always nice. 200 infusion damage here, it's increased fire damage, but we convert it to cold damage with the Frost Ward. We also convert Fire Aura globally to cold, so we don't need to put any points into in Cold Aura conversion. That's very important because we need those points somewhere else. We get also Fire Aura for 1 additional stack, and increased global Fire Aura multiplier. So this one is also very important. Okay, so our most important spell, Surge. This one is our bread and butter. This one generates our Frost Aura stacks with this little note. Fulmination, 100% chance to gain a Fire Aura stack when you consume dormant energy. We attack so incredibly fast that we mostly always have 10 stacks at bosses. So we get 10 stacks here. This one increases the damage that a surge does, but that's not important. We also generate a lot of ward with this one. That's 300 ward per stack at boss fights. We get a little bit of shock chance, get 100 ward here. We get glacial assault to convert everything to frost. We get cold front because of the memes. As you can see here, quick display. When we dash, we do a pelvic thrust and we get a rotational waist blade around our waist. And we shoot liquid in a direction. So it's possibly the most perverted skill in the game. So I needed to pick one. So the passive points, mage. I picked elementalist. I picked arcanist for the additional intelligence. Picked a little bit of scholar. And the attack speed here, nothing unusual. As for spellblade points, we picked up 7 points into arcane warden. We are going for 8 points here because 5 ward is still amazing. We picked up Flamewalker 8 times and Incinerating Aura 8 times. This is increasing our damage and AoE range of our cold aura. We picked 1 point in damage affinity. We already converted our fire aura to cold aura with Flame Ward with that 1 point. This one converts globally, so we don't need to pick this one because global freeze rate multiplied 25% per point. It's not much, it's not giving us damage, it's only giving us survivability, but we freeze most enemies anyway. So no need to pick this one. Picked up Essence Tool, 15% increased attack speed with melee attacks and ward gain on hit, so very strong. Picked up 1 point to Stoneblade because we must, to get Jiminy to dual wield a sword in our offhand, very strong. We also increase the damage we take, but that's fine. We can mitigate this one with Arcane Shielding. That's combined with Shatter Aegis, a 4-stack stackable buff with every hit. So you get 1 stack, and this one decreases the damage by 16% at the end. So very strong. Then we picked 3 points into Prismatic Blades, 10 points into Volca's Razor because 150% elemental damage is very strong. We picked Mana Reaver, 5 points here. The chance to gain mana on hit is very important because Shatter Strike, we attack so fast, we deplete our mana instantly. Like, really, instantly. When you don't have additional mana on your gear and don't have this node, you're home in like 1 second. You shit out so many attacks, it's impossible to keep up your mana without this node. Inferno for additional stacks with our Shatter Strike and our manastrike. We attack so fast, we get like 3 stacks per attack cycle. So per second, get to a lot of stacks. This one is for additional ward generation. At 30 stacks, we get a lot of ward. So 90 ward per second at 30 stacks. That's very strong. And this one, Blades of Fires. I think it's worth it because it's still 150 increased melee elemental damage, but we could take those points because we don't really need that damage and put them into Mental Fortitude and Prodigy to increase our ward generation and our tankiness. Burden of Knowledge, we don't need any cast speed, so 20 adaptive spell damage, retake those. That's scaling our Flame Aura, Cold Aura very, very much. So that's the whole tree. Next up, our gear. As you can see here, there is a lot of stuff to cover. I don't have the optimal gear. I will post a loot filter in the description box in the usual forum post. You can just download it, import it, and have it. You want an Adorned Idol with either ward retention, cold damage, whatever, or apply frostbite stack, melee cold damage, spell cold damage. It's all very nice, very good. I prefer the ward retention at high rolls because 30% ward retention, up to 30% ward retention is quite the boost to survivability. But I prefer this one. So we can get cold damage like 40. I think this one is, yeah, you can roll quite a lot of damage with this one, up to 100 additional damage. So if we stack 4 of those with max rolls, we get 400 damage. It's quite a lot. This one is just to get my poison resistance sorted out. Okay, as for our weapons, we want a scepter in our main hand. This scepter is amazing, even with a 0.98 base attack rate. This one is very strong. We attack super fast, as you can see here. That's without any buffs. So as you can see, very fast. We also have this one on our offhand, as you can see, melee physical damage, we don't scale it, so it's not very important. We want just the highest attack, base attack rate on our offhand we can get with a high melee attack speed roll and cold damage. We scale our aura, not our melee attack damage. As for our chest, here we can choose maybe the ward retention one for more survivability, same for the helmet. I opted for this one because it's a high fire aura damage roll. I get 1 flame ward charge, a lot of resistances and adaptive spell damage, so it's boosting my damage quite a lot and my survivability quite by a lot. And for our helmet, this one is garbage. It's okay for my build. There is better options like the fire aura damage, and for the frostbite you can get something like intelligence on this helmet instead of this, because intelligence scales our ward retention and our damage, so very strong. For the amulet, cold penetration, elemental damage over time, no brainer. For the rings, you want elemental damage over time and intelligence as well as resistances, not the cold damage. The cold damage is not very important. You want the intelligence. The intelligence is giving us also damage and survivability, so a lot better. For this one, I don't even have the elemental damage over time and we still deal a shit ton of damage. So the intelligence roll here is amazing. Boots, so boots are just here for movement speed. I picked this one. So wing guards, for the melee attack speed we don't need crit, we wanted haste for increased pack to pack movement speed. Dodge rating is also very nice, and melee attack speed, like I said. For our relic, there are 3 different options. We can get the elemental damage over time, feather. We can get this mage relic. We can get the mana spent as again as ward relic, but I think this one is completely fine. You get chill chance, you get freeze multiplier, you get cold damage over time. No, cold damage flat, and it had a high intelligence roll, so I picked this one for my build. Okay, last thing, shout out to Last Epoch Builds. Great guy, incredible guy. He helped me a little bit with this build, so greatly appreciated. He smoothed out one major drawback of this build, the damage, and it's quite amazing now. So thank you very much, man. Appreciate it. So if you liked the video, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe, follow me on Twitch, and see you next time. Bye!